Hello and welcome to the Supplementary Election Candidate Briefing Session for the District Council of Tumby Bay Supplementary Election. This session is going to look at the skills and knowledge required of an elected member, the requirements and responsibilities of the council under the Local Government Act, and also look at some of the requirements in regards to time commitments of an elected member. The session is complemented and supported by a session pre-recorded by the Electoral Commission of South Australia, which looks at the candidate and election process in particular. I highly recommend that you take the time to listen to that session, which has been provided as a link on our website, through Facebook, and also through the Electoral Commission of South Australia website as well. So having a quick look at the election timetable, the electoral roll closed on the 30th of June. Public notice inviting nominations from candidates will be advertised this Thursday, the 22nd of July. Nominations will then open and they will close at 12 noon on Thursday, the 5th of August. A ballot draw will then follow, and a public notice of the nominations or candidates will be put in a local paper by Thursday, the 19th of August at the latest. Voting packs will be mailed out to the community for electors between the 21st of August and 30th of August. Polling day close will be 12 noon, Monday the 13th of September, and the scrutiny and count of votes will follow thereafter. Both the ballot paper draw and the scrutiny and count will occur at the Adelaide office of the Electoral Commission of South Australia. So the skills and knowledge that are required of an elected member include the strategic thinking. So the elected members of council set the strategy and the vision for the district and for the council. Also need to follow current trends and look at what those impacts are and to be able to analyse them. So analytically look at information that's been put in front of you. Being able to make informed decisions and sometimes really hard decisions that may not sit well, but you need to make those in the best interest of our community as a whole. Skills, so obviously listening and communicating. To your role, so being able to actually get out and engage with people and have those conversations, and to really troubleshoot when you're having those conversations as well. And good public speaking skills are also very worthwhile and handy to have. Knowledge, so understanding the needs of our community, and they are very diverse and varied. So, understanding what particular sectors need have particular requirements and aspirations of the district as well. Understanding your local government requirements, so the Code of Conduct and other requirements under the Local Government Act and regulations, that may be to do with meeting requirements. Financial oversight is an absolutely key component of your role as an elected member. So each year you'll set the budget and the annual business plan and the rates for the coming year. Throughout that particular year, you'll then review that budget at least 3 times, and you'll also review the long-term financial plan and the assets and infrastructure plans. So financial oversight is really key and a very important part of your role. Obviously understanding governance rules and requirements of an elected member, which is not dissimilar to that of a director of a company or association, and also obviously understanding social justice principles. being able to apply those in your decision-making process. So your role will typically involve taking part in discussions and decision-making with council. So those discussions are robust, and it's really important to be well-informed and effective and to participate in those discussions. We also committees or organisations. So that may be Progress, it could be LAHAT, which is the health group here. So it's been able to participate in those. Obviously, to be able to participate in discussions. Sometimes being available to discuss and advise community members on their concerns and relay those to appropriate channels. So it may be escalating it through to me as the CEO, or it may be something that could be participating in civic events such as citizenship ceremonies and awards. So one really important day for us is the Australian Day barbecue, where the elected members cook the barbecue for our local community. It's a beautiful morning. There are awards for people that in our community have really stepped up, and it's an important part of our events calendar. Visiting council facilities, understanding what our assets and infrastructure are, and obviously liaising with myself on the progress of council projects. And at the moment, we're about to embark on some really significant remuneration tribunal every 4 years. The allowances are set out there, but a councillor gets 6,800 annually, presiding member. So you might be the presiding member of, say, the audit committee. So you get 8,500. The same for the deputy mayor role, and our mayor earns $27,353 a year. You're also entitled to reimbursement of expenses. Exercising powers and functions under an act and duties on behalf of your community. So there are some really significant ethical and legal issues that you need to be aware of. You need to be ready and willing to meet the required standards of conduct. Now that includes understanding and complying with laws that apply to your code of conduct for council members, to act honestly and only use your position as a councillor for proper purposes, to be impartial and well informed when considering council business. So again, that's popped up again. So it's being really objective and asking questions before the meeting where you can. Obviously, conflicts of interest are important. You need to declare and avoid those wherever possible, and raising that conflict or declaring that conflict as early as possible is very important. You do need to disclose publicly some information about your personal, family, business and financial interests. And I'd highly recommend that if you've got any concerns about what you may or may not need to disclose, give the office a call and we can provide you with a copy of the forms that you would need to complete so you understand what those disclosure and that information is. And you will need to, on a daily basis, submit to the public and official scrutiny of your conduct as an elected member. Council functions and responsibilities are set out in the Local Government Act and various regulations that come under that. But basically, the role and functions include being a representative, informed and responsible decision maker in the interests of your community, participating in public policy development, coordinating facilities and services, representing the interests of the community to the wider audience or tiers of government. So that may be to other regional groups such as the RDA, or it may be to the local Member of Parliament. Recently, we've had some parliamentary committees come through the District Council of Tumby Bay, and we've met with them and discussed issues such as land access or coastal management and things like that. Regulating local activities such as development and building, keeping animals, maintaining public health are key responsibilities of council. Now, some of these responsibilities are mandatory under the Act. So I've listed those there. They're very regulatory in their approach. It includes waste collection, planning, building, fire safety, parking control, dog and cat management, public health. So they are required services or functions that the council must provide to their community. There's no ambiguity around that. We must do those services. There are, however, discretionary services that councils can choose to provide to their community. And so they include street lighting and footpaths, parks, ovals and sporting facilities, community facilities and halls, coastal care, tourism initiatives and promoting economic development. So as you would appreciate, the District Council of Tumby Bay provide all of those discretionary services amongst others at the moment. So how council works. Now, the quote in green I thought was very important. As a councillor, you will be required to represent the views of residents and ratepayers to your council and in turn explain council policy and decisions to community members. And again, that they may be some hard decisions, hard conversations that you need to have. You will serve as a bridge between the council and community. However, you will have no direct involvement in administration or managing council staff, and no independent authority to act or make decisions on behalf of council. So that's really important just to understand that distinction there. From a structure perspective, for the elected members, we have our mayor, who's our principal member, and he's elected at large. Then we have our councillors who are elected to represent the area as a whole. So not a particular section or area within the district, it's the district as a whole. Now, the role of the mayor is to preside at meetings. The mayor carries out civil and ceremonial duties. The mayor will provide advice to the CEO regarding implementation of council decisions and acts as a principal spokesperson for the council. So from a spokesperson perspective, it's the mayor that speaks on behalf of the council, not individual councillors and not myself as the CEO. The relationship between council members and staff is integral to a really good working relationship and a really well functioning council. And it's important that it's mutually respectful and mutually trusting. So council members decide the overall strategic direction of the council and set the policies and the plans. As a staff, through myself, we undertake administrative actions that are required to achieve your strategic directions, policies and plans. So if you've got a particular strategic direction that you want to go with, we will then provide you the support to achieve that and the projects and ideas to assist. Now, my role as the CEO is to obviously implement decisions of the council, general administration of council functions, and I employ and manage all of the staff. So the elected members employ me as the CEO, but all other staff are employed and managed by myself. I act as the advisor to council members, and I also ensure that council acts within the law. So just looking at the requirement in regards to meetings for councillors, we have an ordinary council meeting which is held once per month, and that's the second Tuesday of each month at 5:30 p.m. and would normally be finished no later than 8:30 p.m. You may also be asked to attend a special meeting, and they are for additional requirements where we need certain documents or papers signed off. So we have one coming up fairly soon in regards to the setting of rates, the annual business plan and the budget for you to approve that. If you're absent for 3 or more consecutive meetings, you may risk losing your position on the council. So you need to have leave granted by the council to enable you to have more than 3 meetings, be absent for those. And so if you've got any concerns that may be the case, please reach out to me as CEO very early, and we can make sure that nothing occurs that we don't wish. You need to be able to contribute effectively to decision-making process. So again, reading your papers, asking your questions early. So if you've got questions in regards to papers, they ask those questions to me. I will then source any additional information and provide that to you and your fellow elected members so that you can all come prepared with the same information. It's really important that your decisions are objective and that they're made in the best interests of the council area as a whole. Before you nominate, I'd suggest you do read through some recent agenda papers and, if possible, attend a council meeting. Now, the 27th of July council meeting has now been cancelled. That will now be subject to any further COVID lockdowns the 3rd of August at 5:30 in the afternoon. All of our agenda papers and our minutes are held on the Tumby Bay website. So if you go to the District Council of Tumby Bay website, the agenda papers are there for you to have a look at and very easily accessible. Some of the other requirements is you may be participating in committee meetings, so you might be a member of the Audit Committee. Previously we've had a CEO Appointment Committee. So if there's a particular requirement, so Audit Committee obviously is required under the Local Government Act, but you may have a particular project that you're undertaking and you establish a subset of elected members to actually manage that project. So you may be part of that committee. Informal gatherings, we hold these to allow for some really open, informal discussion between councillors and staff, or to deliver training or undertake planning. These are really important. They're not recorded as a formal meeting. They're really there for us to seek input from you and direction from you so that we can come back with papers and projects and suggestions in a more formal setting for you to consider at a formal meeting. So they're there to really just inform us in regards to where you may like to head. You may be part of an external meeting, so representing council and other bodies. So the LAHAC, or again, regional bodies, the School Council, Progress Association, those types of organisations. That brings me to the end of my session. So thank you. Your nomination kits, if you give the office a call on 8688 2101, we can arrange for a nomination kit to come out to you. That includes a copy of the candidate briefing PowerPoint slides from the Electoral Commission, requirements regarding profile and photographs, a Nominate for Council booklet that was put out by the Local Government Association, the candidate booklet from the Electoral Commission. We have popped a copy of the Code of Conduct in there for you to have a look at, and our policy regarding management. If there's anything missed or any other questions you've got, again, please feel free to give the council a call and we can assist you. The Electoral Commission of South Australia runs the